to do a class for you for any lower back problems. So if you do find you suffer with any discomfort in the lower back, then this class is for you. The only thing you might need is a yoga block. So if you do have one, grab it so you have it for the class. And as always, and I know I say this all the time, you need to listen to your body. So if I'm showing you something and you come into it, it doesn't feel good, you are not going to do it. You're going to find that adaptation, or you're going to change the posture and just come out of it. Okay, let's get going. So let's start in a wide-kneed child's pose. So take your knees as wide as your yoga mat, bring your big toes together, sit back on your heels and just walk your hands down your mat. You can drop your head to a yoga block if you prefer. And then just take that stretch down the arms, sitting back towards your heels. And that should feel good on our lower back. Let's start to feel present at the start of our practice. So maybe you've come to your mat and you've been rushing today or moving from task to task and not had much awareness of your body. We want to just slow everything down. So we do that with our breath. So we want to inhale in through the nose to about the count of 4. So take that inhale. We take that pause and then we exhale for the same count of 4, maybe even 5, letting that breath go. Again, we inhale in. We exhale out, just maybe feeling the lower body sitting a little deeper towards the heels. Maybe reaching a little further with the fingertips, so you open into your shoulder area, spreading your fingers wide on your mat. Let's take a few more inhalations and exhalations. And maybe it feels quite good today to exhale, sighing out of the mouth, particularly if you feel you're holding on to anything that doesn't serve you, just let it go. After your next exhalation, just pick up the head and the arms and take a walk over to your right side, placing your left hand on top of your right and dropping your head back down to the floor. So now you should feel that space opening on your left side. It should feel good. Inhaling all the way in, down the left side of the body. And exhaling all of the way out. Let's take a few more breaths here. So maybe you're quite aware of that in your left hip. Everything is connected, so quite often when we do have lower back pain, it can actually be that our hips are quite tight. And we are going to focus a little bit on the hips as well in our class today. Let's take one more breath here. When you're ready, just lifting the head up and taking that walk over to your left side now. Maybe the right hand rests on top of the left as you drop your head back down. Just making sure you can feel that stretch along the right side of the body. You can always shift a little further if you are not feeling it enough. Nice long inhale and exhale. Let's take a few more breaths. After that last exhalation, come back to the centre of your mat. And we're going to head into our down dog. So just walk your hands so they're underneath your shoulders. If you were to come to table, hands are under the shoulders, you can bring the knees back in. Tuck the toes and just start to sit back towards your heels, lengthening into your arms and then straightening the legs. And it might feel quite nice just to take a little pedal into each side, one at a time. Again, if you need that sigh out of the mouth, take it. And then we're just going to hold, sending the heels down towards the mat a little more. Remember, there's no judgment in your practice, so it doesn't matter if your heels are not touching the ground. The more we come to the mat, the easier postures become. Let's take one more breath. Let's take a walk towards our feet now and just let the body hang. Now, if your back is uncomfortable here, then just come up and bring your hands onto your knees very gently. You can rest just here. Keep a slight bend in the knees if the back is really uncomfortable. If it feels okay, it's not bothering you being in this pose, then just let the arms hang and just hold onto your elbows. Just take a little sway side to side. So we want full awareness in our poses. We're not rushing, not jamming into any joints. We're really listening to our body. Let the hands go and then just roll the spine up. Keep the core pulled in because that supports your lower back. And then roll slowly. The head is the last thing to come up. Once you come up, just take an inhale and bring the arms upwards. And then as you exhale, bend into the knees. And then we're going to inhale again. So it's a swing up and an exhale down. Just that gentle bend. Inhale. And that exhale. Let's do one more. Stretch now tall, like you're trying to reach something above you. And then exhale the arms back down. Now if you have your block, just bring it in front of you. We're going to send the arms out and we're going to reach our left hand down towards our block. Now maybe we're taking quite a bend in our knees, particularly if our lower back is giving us a little bit of discomfort. We want that nice bend, or maybe we feel okay with the legs straight, but we're taking a twist here. So our right hand is reaching upwards. If your back doesn't like this, you have that version of one hand on your thigh and just taking that gentle twist here. So there's always options. We're always listening. Our body is very good at telling us what it likes and doesn't like. It's really important to twist our spine. We want to relieve any tightness along the whole of the back. And then we're just going to change. So we're going to drop our right hand down to our yoga block and bring our left arm up. Maybe taking that variation of coming up a little higher if we need to today. Dropping back down, rolling up again, keeping the core pulled in as you come all of the way up, taking your time. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale the hands to the heart center. We're going to step the feet a little wider and just turn the feet out. Now we're going to come down into a squat. So it's like you're sending your tailbone down to your yoga mat. So we start to bend into the knees. Maybe your knees click like mine do. Coming all the way down. Now again, you have that option of maybe just resting here. Imagine you're sitting back against a wall. You can always come to a wall as well. Or maybe you're going to grab your block and come all the way down and sit down on your block here. Push your elbows into your inner legs. You can also do this without sitting on your block, again depending on your lower back. Now this is a really lovely hip opener. working into the groin and sending that tailbone downwards, creating space. Let's take a few more breaths. Remember, we're inhaling through the nose, breathing out same way. One more breath. From here, you're going to release your block if you're sitting on one. Bring your hands behind you and take that seat down on your yoga mat. We're going to send the legs out in front of us. Now you have that option of sitting back on your block if you need it, or sitting on a small towel. We are going to head towards our legs. So just make sure you're pulling the flesh of the glutes away. So you're sitting back on that tailbone again. We're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're just going to walk our hands down our legs. But I want the movement to come from your lower back. So we don't want to do this. We want to lift up and lengthen into that lower spine. So that walk, doesn't matter where you get. Okay, you're just listening to the body. And again, we're using our long breath here. So we're inhaling all of the way in. Exhaling all of the way out. And maybe on that exhalation, this is when you might fold a little deeper. We don't want to go too far, especially if our lower back is giving us some discomfort. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. Take that walk back up towards your knees, your thighs, and just swing your legs round underneath you. I'm going to get you to come into your table, so hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take your time, no rush. So we're going to do our cat-cow breath along our spine. So as we inhale, we dip into our lower back. We bring our gaze upwards, our palms are grounding into our mat. And as we exhale, we start to roll our spine upwards, tucking in the chin. So like an angry cat, pushing your spine up to the ceiling. As you inhale, it's a roll through the spine. As you exhale, push that spine up to the ceiling, tucking in that chin. And getting that lovely release down the vertebrae. We're going to take a few more here. Keep the movement really slow. Last one, make sure you finish on that exhalation, pushing the spine up to the ceiling. And coming back to your neutral spine in your table. Let's start to draw a circle with our belly. So we roll it around like you've got a hula hoop on your belly. Again, move as slow as you need. You're rolling in one direction, rolling that hula hoop, that imaginary hula hoop around. We're going to roll in the opposite direction. Maybe this one feels a little bit more challenging. We're using our coordination a little. We're using our core muscles. Try and keep the hands still, just that middle body working. Coming back to center. Let's push the right hip out to the right and turn your gaze to the right. So you're trying to look towards your right glute. Come back to center. Push the left hip out and turn your gaze towards your left glute. Long breath. Come back to center. Let's sit back to our heels. Let our arms rest down on our mat. Give them a little rest. They've been working to support us. Sitting back towards your heels. Taking one more breath. Coming slowly back up. So from here, your hands are a little further away from your body as they were in your child's pose. And we're just going to start to draw that circle, rolling around, sitting back towards our right heel, our left heel, moving over to our left wrist, our right wrist, and continuing through our own time with your breath. Making any adaptations that you need. Maybe as you practice today, that adaptation is just staying in child's pose. That's okay. Let's reverse the circle. Many things can cause lower back pain. I know for me, if I sit for long periods, my lower back doesn't like it. So this is where my yoga practice really comes in hand. But sometimes I can't avoid, if I have to travel, I might have to be seated for longer than I like. Well, my body tells me that, it doesn't like it. So let's take one more circle here. Coming back to center when you're ready and walking your hands back towards your knees and your thighs. So I hope you're feeling okay so far. We're going to come round back into our seated position. So again, if you need that support underneath the glutes, then you take it. We're going to have some distance in our feet now. So keeping a little bit of distance, and then grab your block again and just bring it between the legs. So the distance actually is kind of like the width of your block, width of the hips. From here, we're going to take that walk again. So just as we did before, walking down towards our support. Now maybe once you get here, you might want to rest your elbows, support your chin or support your head, and just breathe. Again, you've got that lovely length in your lower back. Maybe you can go lower. Maybe your head comes to your block as you rest down, adjusting that block to where it needs to be. Again, you take your long breaths. Really creating that space in the lower back. No rushing the breath, just nice and long. Taking your time, breathing all of the way into the body, all of the way out. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. And maybe as you move through the class today, you notice certain postures help you more than others. And maybe they're postures that you will come back to when you have a spare few moments to allow your back to release. We release our head from whatever position we were in, and we take that walk back up our legs. Remove your block and just draw in that left knee. We're going to let that foot come to our inner thigh and that left knee go out to the side. Now maybe you might need a little bit of support holding up that knee. Again, you can adjust your block to where it's needed. Our right leg is in line with our right hip. We're going to breathe in this time and bring up our arms. You might want a yoga strap as you exhale. You might be taking that strap around the foot. It can be a belt, it can be anything. And then you inhale and you exhale to lower down. Again, take your time here. We're working a little bit more now into our hips as well. Remember I said some tension can actually be coming from the hips into that lower back. Take your time, use your breath as you delve maybe deeper, or maybe just staying exactly where you're at. Letting your body be your guide. Let's take 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, we very slowly take that roll back up. Draw that left knee in, send it long on your mat. And we're changing sides. We're bringing in that right knee, letting that foot come to the inner thigh, maybe propping with our block. We're inhaling, we're reaching the arms up. And we're exhaling to fold forwards. Lifting out of that lower back, using the breath. Very slowly come down. Really take your time. Breathing nice and long. We're going to stay for a few more breaths. Making sure you're lifting out of that lower back. Let's inhale, come all of the way up, release the arms, draw that right knee back in. So let's come on to our backs. So when you're ready, just swing round on your mat, have your block to hand, and we're going to lie down on our backs. Keep the knees bent as you come down so you're not pulling into that lower back. Separate the feet so they're hip width apart. And then leave the arms alongside you. Just make sure you can touch your heels with your fingertips. That brings you in the right position. Start to push your spine into your mat beneath you. Keep that chin tucked in. As you inhale, start to roll your spine off of the floor, so you're lifting up the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back, pushing up, keeping the arms where they are. As you exhale, you're starting to place the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back down on the ground. We're going to do that again. Inhale, roll the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back off of your yoga mat. Take that pause. As you exhale, roll the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back down to the ground. From here, draw the knees into the chest and hug them in. Take a roll side to side. A lovely little massage into that lower back. Should feel nice. Place the feet back down on the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. And we're going to start to draw that left knee towards us, wrapping your hands around the outer knee, or they can be under the thigh. Inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze that knee towards you. When you inhale, you release a little. When you exhale, you squeeze in. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep that breath long. Squeezing and releasing. Taking one more breath here. And as you squeeze that left knee in, see if you'd like to bring your head up as well. Like you're sending the nose to the knee. Slowly release back down. Drop your right foot onto the ground. And this time draw the right knee towards you. Send the leg out long. And we're going to draw a circle with that leg. So take your time. Maybe your circle is quite small. Maybe your circle is quite big. It can be little, it can be long. You can do the circle with your knee in if it's really not comfortable. You can draw a circle with the knee. So really adapt to what suits you. Now this is working into our hip joint. Like I said, a lot of back pain can be from tightness in the hips. From here, reverse your circle. Keep the arms relaxed, no tension in the jaw. Last one here. And then place that right foot back down on your mat. We want to cross that left ankle over the right knee now and draw the right knee in. Squeeze it in. Shoulders relaxed. You're working with your breath. As you inhale, you slightly release that knee. And as you exhale, you squeeze it in. Take your time. Last few breaths here. Release that knee. Actually, just before we release, we want to bring our head up, nose to knee. If we've done that on the other side. And then drop that head down, drop that right foot down, arms alongside you. We're bringing that left knee towards the chest, and then we're maybe sending that along, or we're keeping it bent depending on our back. And we're drawing a circle the opposite way, sending that leg out and in. Try and keep your circle quite slow, no fast circles. Use your breath. Relax the arms, relax the jaw. And then reverse your circle, so the opposite way. Few more here. Last one. Plant that foot down, so you're back with both feet on the mat. Let's link our fingers, place our hands underneath our head, making a pillow with our hands. Just let the knees fall over to the right, holding there. If you want something a little stronger, you can pick up that right foot, placing the outer edge on the outer edge of the outer left knee. We're going to keep the head exactly where it is, neutral spine. Breathing down the spine and into that left hip. Releasing that foot if you had it in place, and just let the knees come back to center. Then drop the knees over to your left side. Again, maybe you're picking up that foot, placing on the outer edge of the right knee, keeping the head neutral. And if this feels too strong, you can bring the knees together and then let them fall to one side and the other with some support. So your knees can come down to your yoga block or pillows. Always make sure it feels comfortable. Remember, no pain. Saying no pain, no gain is definitely not part of our yoga practice. One more breath here. Releasing, rolling back to center. Release the hands under the head and squeeze both knees in. Give yourself a hug. Massaging into the lower back. From here, roll yourself over to one side so you can come back to a seated position. We're going to take a last twist of our spine. So send the right hand behind you, the left hand over towards your right knee, and just send the body over to that right shoulder. Turning the gaze behind if you can. Coming back to center, let's change direction. Right hand to that left thigh, left hand behind, pull your left shoulder back. Coming back to center, bringing your hands onto your knees. Take a last roll around here. Really moving whatever way feels good. Again, maybe making that movement slow or big. You can go a little faster if that feels good. Rolling into the lower back, into the hips. Reverse your circle. Maybe start to incorporate the arms and the shoulders a little. And coming back to center. Let's keep our hands on our knees, turn our head over to the right side. Drop your chin down. Turn your gaze over to the left side. Drop your chin down. Let's do that one more time, each side. Dropping the chin down. Gazing left. And then turning the head back to center. Let's place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Taking 3 full breaths here. Taking one more breath. Finishing with your hands at your heart center and bowing to Namaste. And Namaste means the light in me honours the light in you. So thank you for taking this time to practice with me. I hope your back feels better for it. Feel free to drop me a comment below, and I hope to see you very soon, whether in person at one of our retreats or workshops or online. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Namaste.